Good morning, family. As you can tell by the title, I'm gonna be going over all of my gear that I've been using. Um, Basically, since I started making music, I'm gonna be upgrading like all of this gear soon. So I want to make a video, kind of showing anyone who wants to start making music or get better gear or learn about the right gear to use, anything like that. So yeah, get right into it. The first thing I want to show you guys is my Blue Ember microphone. I think I've literally, hold on, I'm taking it off the stand right now. I literally have not seen one other person use this mic. That could be a bad sign, but personally, I just like, this microphone was the first, like real microphone I bought. Real. I had the USB Snowball, the blue Snowball, before I got this guy. And obviously the USB Snowball, it works if you're just trying to record audio, but unless you really kind of know how to mix, it's not going to sound good. And kind of the same goes for this guy, but it was just like, it was still an upgrade to the Snowball. It's really not expensive. Looking at the prices right now, you can find it new for $100, but you can find them used for like 50. There's one on eBay for 35. It's not an expensive microphone, and that's why I got it. I was like 16 at the time when I bought it. Bought it new, and yeah, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's the best mic, but it's a really good mic for my voice, I feel like, and I've learned how to mix my voice when it's recorded through this, just after like a ton of years. And that's another point I wanted to make, was you don't need the best gear, you just have to learn the gear that you have. And that kind of sounds like a daunting task, but honestly, after playing with the gear, after your first few songs with the gear, like, you should be able to kind of realize what your microphone's good at recording, what sounds, frequencies it picks up, things like that, and what you kind of got to fix in the mixing aspect of the song. But yeah, that's the microphone. It just connects, like most, through this XLR cable, which leads me into the audio interface I use, which is the good and old faithful Focusrite. I might get dogged on for using this as my main audio interface to this day, but it's literally been like 4 or 5 years, and this thing has not failed me. It's super cheap. I'm sure if you know anything about mixing or just making music, you've definitely heard of it. But it's just $100 audio interface that works great. It works perfect. Of course, if you're gonna buy something that is like $1,000, you're gonna get better quality, obviously. But for people who are just putting music out there, you don't got a label, you don't have a team where your music's really that big yet, it's a really, really, really smart choice for an audio interface. And yeah, basically, for anyone who doesn't know how these work, let me flip the camera. So basically, you have the XLR cable for the microphone. This is your insert one, and that just changes the volume for your insert one. This is the input for this, or this is the second input, and you can just throw like guitars or other instruments that you can wire up there. And then this is the volume for that, and then this is the main volume for like everything coming out of your speakers, which I'll get into next. But the speakers are plugged in back here, the right one and the left one. And then this just changes speaker volume, and then you got your headphone jack right here. And yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, next up is the speakers. I have what's the actual name of them? JLB 305P 5-inch monitors. These are like, they're not, I wouldn't say they're expensive, but funny story, when I got them, my dad was trying to get me them as like a Christmas present, when I was like first making music, and they're like $170 each, but my dad thought that they would come with two. So on Christmas, I opened one speaker and then had to go buy the second one, which I think is kind of funny. But these things have been put through the ringer. I've moved like to 4 different places with these things. Obviously got some damage, but they're still kicking. Yeah, I've got them on Sweetwater for 170. You can get 2 of them for 338. So definitely not crazy expensive. I feel like that's pretty good price for studio monitors. And they work really, really well. They're loud if you need them to be. They keep the quality. And they sound, when I mix on these and then go to my car to hear the mix, it sounds similar. And a lot of the time when you're mixing with studio monitors and they're kind of on the cheaper side, you can find that when you mix on the speakers and then you go and listen to it in your car or on like a Bluetooth speaker or in headphones, it sounds super just different. But these have treated me very well. But kind of the same thing with the mic. You kind of just learn how things sound and how your gear works. And then once you have made enough songs or made enough music with them, you kind of know how to mix them correctly to make them sound how you want. But yeah, those are my speakers. What next? We could get into my keyboard. This isn't the first keyboard that I've ever gotten or that I've ever used. I used to have a little mini keyboard that I ended up selling, had the pads on it and everything. That was actually that one was the first one, and it came with Ableton on it, or like with it. You just like had a code, and so with the purchase of the MIDI keyboard, you got Ableton, which is another music software. And yeah, I used that for like a year or two before I got FL Studio, and I switched out. I saw this keyboard on Kyle Beats YouTube channel, and it's called the Keystation 49 MK3, and yeah, it's like $100. You can find it. It's got I'll show you. It's just got these modulation pitch knobs. You can go up and down octaves, volume, tracker knobs, a little dusty, but some play and stop buttons. But yeah, super good keyboard. That's lasted me forever. Next, I want to show you guys my headphones. I got these Audio Technicas. These are the second pair of headphones that I've gotten for producing and stuff. But I used to have the M20s. Yeah, I used to have the M20s. These are the M50Xs. And yeah, they're just really comfy. The M20 isn't super comfy. They used to hurt the shit out of my ears. But this one, for only like, you can find them for $100 used, and they're really comfy headphones. And they sound really good. And they also come in a SIG leather bag with like a ton of extra wires and stuff. They're a really good pair of headphones. Anyway, not much else to say about those. You could get the M20s and make good music still, but these are just like, for the price and the quality, I feel are your best choice. Next. So this guy is, I guess, soundproofing for the microphone. You throw it on the stand, and it kind of just keeps your audio sounding crisp and nice. But I'm not gonna lie, as of late, the reason I don't have it on my mic stand is I was recording instruments on the mic, so I didn't want that. But I have been recording like vocals without it, and just setting up my mic in the middle of the room, and it's low-key sounds, I don't know, just sounds more raw, and that's just kind of the vibe I've been going with as of late. So haven't been using it as much, but it's a super good tool. Like 90% of my songs, probably like 99% of my songs, I've used that thing, and it just keeps your audio, it's just easier to mix when you have something blocking out all the extra noise, but it does definitely take away from the rawness of your vocals. So it's a good tool, but definitely not necessary. And then as you can see over there, got my pop filter on the mic stand as well. Altogether, these three things, probably the mic stand honestly was the most expensive thing, just because it's the heaviest thing in the world. But yeah, it's altogether, I feel like you can spend less than $100 for a mic stand, pop filter, and whatever you want to call that thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about were my sound panels. To be honest, in this room, I feel like they aren't doing as much as I have in other rooms, because I only have them on this corner of the room, just because I have so much other stuff up in my room. But I will say, they do, if you're gonna put them around your entire room, they work really, really well. I used to have, in my old room, I have like these long ones, bang, 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 all around the room. I have like 4 more under my bed that I just can't fit on the walls in here. But if you were to get them, I would recommend evenly spacing them around your room to get the most out of them. And they work really, really well. I just have so much stuff up in this room that it's not necessary. So if that's like something, you don't need things like this. I think the pack for all of this was like $700, which is a lot of money. And if you don't have that kind of money, you can throw some mattresses on the walls. Throw just pictures, posters, anything that can, like, I don't know, dampen the noise better than just your flat, hard wall, is a good choice. You don't have to spend $700 on it. And last but not least, I want to show you guys my Fender FA-135C, which is just like a really popular, budget-friendly guitar. But it works great. This guitar I've used, it's got, it's an electric acoustic, so it's a little fancier than just a regular acoustic guitar, and sounds good, and it's super easy to use on the Focusrite to record audio. And yeah, definitely if you want to learn how to play guitar, just get something like this. But yeah, not much to say about the guitar. It's a good guitar. But yeah, that's basically all the gear I use. If you guys have any other questions about like how I got used to mixing and mastering with the Focusrite and just all the gear that I have, feel free to leave a comment and I can make a more in-depth video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Corleone drops January 19th. So if you're seeing this before then, go pre-save it. If you're seeing it after, go save it. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Peace.